Welcome to Local Living Tri-City, your go-to podcast for exploring the vibrant communities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Join me, Liz Jones, as we dive into real estate insights and local business stories, bringing you closer to the heart of our Tri-City area. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? I am so glad you tuned in to Local Living. I am here with a good friend of mine, Jim Yanoschik. And Jim and I know each other a long time now, maybe about 4 years. We were both part of the Murrieta Rotary Club, and Jim's still there. And are you president right now?
I'm the current president.
Oh, I forgot that. He's a current president, and that club is something special. Tell us a little bit about the size of the club and some of the key projects that they do.
Well, the Murrieta Rotary Club is about over 30 years old. I'm a founding member, so I've been a past president. This is my third time being president. We do about 30 projects every year, most of them in Southwest Riverside County, especially Murrieta. We have a great partnership with the school district. We do teacher grants. We give out college scholarships. We give out vocational scholarships. We have speech contests, music contests.
Wow.
We do a special needs adult dance for the community. We just do a lot of stuff. Plus, Rotary is the largest and oldest service organization in the world, so we do lots of international projects.
That's wonderful. And I don't know if you mentioned the Murrieta Field of Honor yet. Did you mention that one? That's our kind of signature over there.
Yeah, the Murrieta Field of Honor is our largest fundraiser. It is a week-long celebration during Veteran Day week. We honor heroes, and those heroes can be veterans, they can be active duty, they can be teachers, first responders, mentors. So it's a whole week-long celebration of heroes in your life.
That's wonderful. And I've been out to the Field of Honor before, and I've participated raising up and putting flags and serving. You can actually sponsor a flag in the name of one of those heroes for you. And it's a beautiful sight because it's outside of Murrieta's City Hall. Yeah. And there's more than 2,000 flags flying at the same time during that time of Veterans Week.
Yeah, it's in Town Square Park. What's amazing, this will be our 16th year, and there's a lot of residents that haven't been to the Field of Honor or not even aware of it. And you can buy a flag for $35, and it can be dedicated in honor of somebody living or in memory of if somebody is not with us any longer. And again, it can be active duty, it can be retired, mentors, teachers, anybody. And what we do is they'll buy a flag, we'll walk them out there, and they'll take pictures and send it back to their family members, maybe in Ohio, and said, hey, this is a week long flying this flag in your honor, and just wanted to say hi. So lots of great stories like that.
I love it. I love it. Well, one of the neat things I know about you, Jim, from knowing you at Rotary, is that you actually raise and train service dogs too. It looks to be your passion. Many times you bring new pups with you every time you come in. So tell us a little bit about that and what organization you partner with.
I'm a volunteer puppy raiser for canine support teams, and they provide service animals for any disability other than blindness. They're located now in Murrieta. They've been over 30 years they've been providing service animals. The founder, Carol Roquemore, is a polio survivor. And interesting story, she trained her puppy to help her fetch things and pick things up. Somebody asked, hey, can you do that to my dog? And she actually gave that person her dog, and then this organization started. She got a connection with the prison program, so as a volunteer puppy raiser, I'll take a donated puppy from a breeder and raise it for about a year. And then we have to turn it in, and yes, it's very difficult. There's a lot of tears, but canine support teams, when you're filling out the paperwork to turn your puppy in that you've raised for a whole year and the tears are flowing, they hand you another puppy. And they say you can dry your tears on the fur of a new puppy. So I now have a Bernedoodle, black and white Bernedoodle, Bravo, who's my 13th dog. My wife Brenda and I, we've raised 13, this will be our 13th dog.
Oh man, well that's a true love and help for the community.
And one of the nice things is people always ask, oh, I couldn't do that. How can you turn them in? But when a young serviceman has said, I called the suicide hotline a couple times, I made my plans for the transition, I found out about your program, and if it wasn't for your program, I probably wouldn't be here. You're like, You can
Okay,
have my
here's
puppy.
the
Yeah,
dog.
you can have my puppy.
Oh gosh, that's
yeah.
tough. Well, it's a good heart that you have.
Well, thank you.
Even better than that, running marathons. I've heard some of your stories. I know many times you'd be gone doing some incredible things. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm a multi-sport, more of a triathlete and a runner, a swimmer, and a biker. In fact, I leave on Sunday to go to Australia to represent the United States at the World Championships in Townsville, Australia.
No kidding.
I'll be doing the aqua bike, which is a triathlon without the running.
Wow.
And so it's a 2-mile swim and a 70-mile bike ride.
2-mile swim, 70-mile bike ride.
So I do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of training here at home, getting yourself ready?
I'm trying to. You know, now that I have a week, I'm shutting on myself. I should have done this. I should have done that. So the holy regret triangle of coulda, shoulda, woulda. I'm going through that right now. So.
Well, I imagine you wouldn't be taking this on if you didn't know your body can handle it. You've gone through it enough. You just say it's going to be a tough week, but I'll get through it.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about athletics is it teaches you to suffer. And you can take that and apply it to many aspects in your life. Life is hard, and athletics helps you mentally, physically. I always thought that, you know, I wanted to be a top performer. I had to be physically fit as well as mentally fit. And when the little devil on your shoulder is saying, stop, stop, and the angel, go, you can make it to the next telephone pole. Just stop, go. So a lot of times in your life, you listen to the angel, not the devil.
Oh, that's the best way. Not all of us can do that. Oh my gosh. And before all of this, you were in what profession?
I was a dentist.
Oh, yeah? So what did that look like? I mean, how'd you get into that field?
In high school, I wanted to either be a doctor or a dentist. And at that time, you could go into hospitals and things like that. And I shadowed a doctor for a day, and then I shadowed a dentist for a day. And God bless the doctors and the nurses. They do wonderful things, but they deal with sick people. And or a dentist, they're, you know, oh, they have a toothache, but it was a totally different atmosphere in a dental office versus a hospital. And so ever since high school, I wanted to be a dentist.
And I bet the insurance that a doctor has to cover for malpractice is a lot different than it is for a dentist, isn't it? You probably still have to carry it, but not quite as... I was told by one friend of mine who is a physician, their malpractice is $90,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a whole person's salary.
Yeah.
Wow, and a half. So, yeah, that's crazy. Well, you gave it up. Retired?
I'm retired.
Did you sell your practice?
I sold my practice.
That's awesome. Where was that office located?
The office I started in 1987 at the corner of Winchester and Inez.
Wow.
There was no mall. There was no Taco Bell there. There wasn't even the shopping center across the street. There were 3 shopping centers in the area, and that was the third one. I used to work on my patients and look across where the mall is, and there'd be sheep grazing. They use sheep to keep the weeds down. So, and there was no stoplights there, so it was a long journey. And then I built my own office down on Winchester Road across from Chaparral near Nicholas.
Oh, very cool. Well, good deal. Well, good deal. And the last couple of years, you and Brenda, your wife, have been taking on a project that is the love of your life, I guess you could say, besides Brenda. You decided to build your dream home in Canyon Lake on a piece of land, correct?
Correct.
So tell me about the land to begin with.
We bought the property about 30 years ago. We like the area because it's one of the few reservoirs in Southern California you can actually swim and boat in. And we fell in love with it. They have an equestrian center where we keep our horses. So our horses have lived there probably 14, 15 years. We just moved in a couple months ago, but it's a waterfront property that's really a nice property.
That's wonderful. So most of Canyon Lake waterfront is on hillsides because the water can rise and fall. And so is yours the same?
Yes.
Multi-tiers in your building too?
Yeah, so the street level is here, our house pad is here, and then the lake is down there.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. Well, you know, I deal with enough
clients that say, I'd love to buy this piece of land and build a house. And from the limited information, never have done that myself, but I've lived through other people's experiences, and it's not always easy. It's not without reward. It's beautiful reward, but there is a long journey that is involved there. Clearly, you and Brenda figured out a way to do it, and I believe Brenda was your general contractor?
My wife acted as the owner-builder, general contractor. She's an attorney that practiced. When we built our professional building on Winchester Road, some of the subcontractors needed some legal advice, so she helped them out and became good friends of ours. And her practice turned into a construction defect litigation.
Wow.
So from that, she started learning about the trades and contracting. And when we started to build ourselves, it was going to cost about $150,000 for a general contractor. So Brenda said,
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Yeah, yeah.
I'll
So
save
she
that
stepped up
$150,000.
and do it. Nobody's going to watch that project as
much
you
as she
will.
will.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably so when it involves that, she has to find a source, somebody to do the project. Let's say it's pour a foundation, or let's say it's to do the framework. She has to find each vendor.
She found, what she did was go on the website of California Construction and just started cold calling.
No kidding.
Local in the area. She'd make
Wow.
30 calls to plumbers, to framers, to concrete people. And, hey, do you want to submit a bid? And
No
so
kidding.
she put the work in, and we took the bids and got some very different pricing from it
Sure.
all. You can have 2 or 3 times differences in bids.
Yeah, because some people are going to overcharge you thinking you're going to come down in price. Some people are going to be very fair in price. Some people are very competitive in price. Wow, so you get to pick and choose because it wasn't your only choice. So that's a note for anybody looking out there. Okay, she gathered all the bids. She chose her vendor. She obviously supervised, or both of you supervised each vendor as they came in. And obviously, if they did something wrong, she knew what to do about defects. So that was pretty cool, too. How long did this process take for you guys?
A little over 2 years. One of the problems was we commenced just as COVID started hitting. So there was some supply chain issues and things like that. But, I believe the good Lord works in mysterious ways, and it all worked out. Sometimes the bids for wood would be high, and then 2 weeks later it'd be low. So we almost dollar cost averaged a lot of things and just bought little what we needed and then what we needed more. And so.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Well, good for you. So by doing your own contracting, what would you say you paid per square foot, if you know this number off the top of your head?
You know what? When a contractor would come meet Brenda and I, they'd start talking to me, and I'd say, no.
Look at her.
I'm the eye candy in this relationship. So to tell you the truth, I do not know.
Okay, all right. I think that Brenda had shared that she was looking around $250 a square foot. Does that sound about right?
Sound about right.
I know that if you are buying a used house, you're buying it at 400, 300 square feet, depending on the kind of product. A new home, even higher. So obviously she's figured out a way to get you a great home. So from start to finish, almost two and a half years. How about pulling permits and city governance? What was that like building? Was that a hurdle? Did you have some stalls there?
Because Brenda could talk the language with the building people, it went pretty smoothly. The problem is Canyon Lake is a small
community,
city,
right.
and their building office is open one day.
Oh, so you have to get on in.
Yeah, but the inspector, is an inspector and the building, department, and they sub out a lot of their plan checks and things like that. So, it wasn't too bad.
That's great.
The city was really good to work with. Besides the city, we had the POA too. We were
that's
property
right.
owners, so a lot of the aesthetic things had to go through them. And again, Brenda would ask, hey, how's this look? And it can be very helpful if you go ahead of time.
Correct.
And, say, hey, what do you think of this? And they were pretty good to work with.
That's good. So what Jim is going through is obviously two things that I heard in what you're saying. You have a city local governance. Canyon Lake happens to be one of very few California gated cities. So there's about 3,500 homes that are inside there.
Yeah.
Roughly 3,500 homes. It was started back in the 80s.
60s.
Oh, holy
Yeah.
moly. And did not know this. And it was more of a part-time stop, like almost like a vacation rental stop for a lot of
Yes.
people, right? Because here we were in the middle of nowhere, and there was this lake, and it's a lake you can boat on. It has developed over time, and it's pretty much jam-packed. People are happy there. There's people that ride around in their golf carts. They have incredible 4th of July celebrations. And as Jim had mentioned, they have their own equestrian, they have their sports park, they have their own lakes that you can enjoy. They have amenities out the yin yang, a golf course. It's really, really fun. And the price points go from, I think you can get maybe a waterfront or close to waterfront little tiny shack for $600, and then they go all the way up to $2-3 million. And then they even have some series of 55 plus manufactured homes on lots that come across some part of the golf course too. So it's kind of nice. This city being small and the city center being right across the street in the plaza allows you guys a little more flexibility versus going to the city of Murrieta or the city of Temecula and having to wait in line behind all these buildings. And then, of course, the POA is another name for the Property Owners Association. Just like a homeowners association, there are architectural guidelines that they're talking about, and those architectural guidelines must be complied with, like how high your fences can go so you're not blocking your neighbor's view, or you can't paint it purple because your neighbor's going to hate purple. So there are some guidelines. They might even go into some guidelines about what kind of trees you can even put in too, like you can't do these trees because they're going to block somebody's view. Obviously, Brenda, his wife, had set up all these guidelines or worked with these associations to get ahead of them, and that's why the process was smooth.
Yeah, rather than ask for forgiveness, we ask for permission ahead of time. And if you're in a community with a POA or HOA, there are certain rules, and if you're a rule follower, then you'll love it. If you're not, there might be little tickets and fines. You can't keep your trash can out all week.
Right.
And so there's advantages and disadvantages.
Agreed. I think I have two sets of clients that are always looking. The one that's very economically focused, and they're usually saying, I don't want an HOA. I want low taxes and no HOA. And they're willing to compromise their neighbor's grass being up to here because they want to save that money every single month. And then there's everybody else who says, you know what, I don't mind it. They're keeping my neighbor in line. They're keeping me in line. And there's amenities that come with that. So, yeah, I think there's two schools of thought.
Yeah, there's trade-offs like everything in life.
Yeah, and like anything. So, well, Jim, this has been incredibly great. So you're off to Australia. You leave when?
Sunday.
And you're gone for how long?
10 days.
Now, are you taking Brenda with you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And on the way back, we'll stop in Fiji.
Oh.
We're taking Fiji Air. And so we'll stop
my
there.
husband cannot watch this video because it will have us off to Fiji. That's one of the places he wants to go back to.
Bula. That's how
Yeah.
they say hello. Bula.
Oh, that's great. Well, you're going to have a great time, and I wish you much success.
Oh, good day, mate.
Yes! and let me ask you, does it break out into categories of ages?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Fortunately, I've been doing triathlons for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I am not as fast as I once was.
Oh, who
But,
is?
Yeah, they're in five-year age groups. So you're competing against people from all over the world that are near your age.
Wow, I like that.
Male and female, and there'll be, people there from 18 up to 85 plus.
Wow, wow. Well, I hope you win. I'll be rooting for you and praying for you guys in your travel. Jim, thank you so much. This is Jim Yanoschik. Let's thank him today, and thank you for joining us at our podcast.
Thank you, Liz.
You bet. Till next time.
Thank you for listening to Local Living Tri-City. Stay tuned for more insights and stories from Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, and surrounding areas. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend that is passionate about the Tri-City area as you are. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next episode.